Hi folks, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. You know, we are living in a wonderful time as it relates to new cars. Today we've got safety, we've got performance, and we've got fuel economy. And there are many cars out there that put all of those together in one package very nicely. Case in point, we have the 2014 Volkswagen Passat TDI. Now this car is a full-size sedan that gets 40 miles per gallon highway as rated by the EPA. And of course the TDI for Volkswagen means clean diesel. And of course Volkswagen has led the clean diesel revolution in the last 10 years, offering good performance, high efficiency, and they don't smoke. So we're going to take this car out and see if it meets or exceeds that 40 mile per gallon highway rating and see how good it is all around. This Volkswagen Passat was introduced in 2011 as a car designed and built specifically for the North American market. It's larger than the Passat sold in Europe, with a 110-inch wheelbase and some 2 inches wider than the Jetta. It's the largest sedan Volkswagen sells in America. The design is clearly German, with its sharp and crisp lines, familiar face, and traditional Volkswagen design language. The TDI starts out with the mid-level SE trim grade, which has standard 18-inch alloy wheels, body color trim and mirrors, but only halogen headlamps. Our tester came in a shimmering shade of night blue metallic paint and paired with a moonrock gray interior. The interior is designed specifically for American drivers, which are statistically larger on average than those in Europe. The dash has a horizontal design layout which affords a sense of space. A standard twist key start comes with the SE, console-mounted push button on SEL trims. The interior of the Passat is everything you'd expect in the way of quality, fit, and finish from a German brand. As you run your hand along the dash and the door panel, the materials are generally of a good soft touch and a good quality. There are some hard plastics in a few places, but overall it's an interior that's well put together. Now, on our TDI SE with sunroof, we of course have a tilt and sliding sunroof that has a sunshade that opens and shuts. We've got tilt and telescoping steering wheel. That is a manual adjustment, however. Now, we do have heated seats, which in the wintertime is just a godsend. I really love that. Now these power seats on the driver's side adjust pretty well, and of course if you're on the passenger side you get a manual adjustment. Now these seats are leatherette, which is to say vinyl, and that's not really such a bad thing. I've been in some American cars that have leather seats that really don't even feel as nice as this does. You don't really sweat and they almost look the part of leather. Now we're sitting here at idle with this diesel engine running, and it's just a nice distant purr. It's not too loud. They've actually done a lot of sound deadening with this to get it quiet in here, and really to me it's not any noisier than some four-cylinder gas engines. Now as I sit here in the cockpit, it's everything you'd expect from a German brand. The switchgear is black and white, has a nice quality feel in your hand, and of course the instrument cluster is black and white, very easy to read. It's got a center LED screen that has all the information you want, and you can flip through menus and customize it as you wish. Now, one of the things I really like is the simplicity of this touchscreen audio system. It's got buttons on the side to change your band. It doesn't force you to get into menus to do that. And of course, your preset stations are nice big buttons that are easy to read, and they respond well to your touch. And the other thing that's nice is they haven't integrated the HVAC and a whole myriad of other settings into that touchscreen that would force you to go through menus to do basic settings for your car as you're on the road. That means you've got hard controls for your HVAC in a nice simple 3-knob layout. It's simple, it's easy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Overall, this is German business-like simple. I love it. Now, the rear seat of the Passat, as you can see, is very generous in the way of room, and that's because of its 110-inch wheelbase. As you can see, there is a lot of legroom back here, and a nice thing about this formal roofline here is that I was able to hop in without worrying about bumping my head like, say, you'd have to really watch that in a Toyota Avalon with its sloped roofline. The rear seat passengers get vents back here, which is standard, a nice touch, and of course you also have a fold-down armrest with cup holders. The Passat has a generous trunk space and 60/40 fold-down rear seats. There's also a good deal of storage, including a handy second glove box on the driver's side. This interior is actually a pretty nice place to be overall. It's got a nice spacious feel. The only complaint I'd have about it is that with this aluminum trim and these gray colors in here, it comes off as just a little bit Spartan, a little bit plain. I think maybe some changes in the trim, like maybe some burl wood or some harder contrasting colors, might liven it up a little bit and give it a little more pizzazz. The heart and soul of the TDI is its 2-liter turbo diesel engine. With common rail technology, it's quieter and smoother than diesels of the past and emits no smoke at all. Mated to a 6-speed DSG automatic transmission, it's rated at 30 miles per gallon city and 40 miles per gallon highway with a 34 miles per gallon combined rating. Around town, this engine actually has a pretty good amount of grunt. Even though it's only 140 horsepower, that 236 pound-feet of torque really is something that you can feel. The Passat handles much like you'd expect from a front-wheel drive German car. It has a fully independent suspension with McPherson struts up front and a more premium multi-link design at the rear. Riding down the highway, it feels nice and tight, just like a German sedan. It's got a nice, supple suspension that doesn't ride too rough, but it's not too smooth either. When you put it into the curves, it responds like you would expect, and the steering, of course, is electric, so it doesn't have quite as much feel as you might like for a German sedan, but it's not bad. As our testing included a good deal of highway driving as well as city, the Passat TDI proved it has the poise for both jaunts on windy roads as well as provide a relaxing and comfortable place for a long road trip. Cruising along on the freeway, this car is very quiet, just like a gasoline engine car. You don't hear the engine, it's not rattling away under the hood. In fact, at highway speeds, when you're just cruising, you wouldn't really know it's a diesel over a gasoline car. In our time with the Passat TDI, we achieved amazing fuel economy. It's rated at 40 miles per gallon highway, which is amazing for a sedan this size. But we got 45 miles to the gallon combined, both highway and in town. And that is just blow-away hybrid, small Prius type fuel economy. And when you think about the fact that this is a full-size sedan, that's pretty good. As you can see, the Volkswagen Passat TDI offers up a very interesting choice in the full-size sedan segment. It's got German style and engineering as well as handling, and it gets phenomenal fuel economy. The only area where I was a little bit let down was the interior that could use just a little bit more styling pizzazz. So this week we give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. I hope you enjoyed the ride. For a more in-depth review and photo gallery, see our report on dieseldig.com, the news website about diesel cars and trucks.